Greetings, everyone. My name is Jonathan Bailey. I am from the website Plagiarism Today, which can be found at plagiarismtoday.com. And today we're going to do something a little different. As many of you might know, if you're a Copyright 2.0 show fans, Patrick had his last episode last week, and therefore I am co-hostless right now. Now, I'm currently working on fixing that situation. I've got a couple people I'm talking to, but it may be a few weeks before anything gets nailed down, especially considering right now things are crazy busy as I try to finish this haunted house I'm working on and have it ready to open on Halloween, or actually a few days before Halloween. But anyway, so I've got a lot going on, but I don't want to miss any copyright news. There's just so much going on. So we're going to experiment with a new format today. We're going to do something a little bit unique, at least as far as I know. We're going to do something I'm calling 7 copyright stories in 7 minutes. That's right, in the time it takes you to make a sandwich, assuming you use mayonnaise, lots of it. I'm going to cover 7 copyright stories from the week. Now, the way things timed out this week, I had more days. It went from Wednesday to Friday. So it was a little bit over a week, actually, in terms of show note time. So a few stories got dropped. We're not going to talk about, like, for example, Kim.com's mega reveal, which ended up being kind of a bust anyway, not really worth talking about. And a few other odds and ends got dropped because I've only got room for 7 stories, and I've only got 7 minutes according to these arbitrary wrong side rules. Yes, it's the left shoulder, Jonathan, that I have set upon myself. So on that note, when that counter starts, we are going to talk copyright news. We are going to talk copyright news for 7 minutes and not a second over. And then I'm going to put this on YouTube and see what happens. Why? Because I'm crazy like that. So you ready? Let's get this party started. And we go. Okay, first off this week, Robin Thicke is in the news. Apparently, some depositions in his case against dealing with the Marvin Gaye estate have come forward, and in it, he basically says that A, Pharrell Williams pretty much wrote the song Blurred Lines, and B, he was drunk and or stoned or otherwise inebriated whenever he gave interviews that indicated that he was idolizing and wanted to emulate Marvin Gaye with the song. Now, the Gaye estate, as you might know, did some saber rattling and tried to accuse Thicke and Pharrell Williams and everyone else of ripping off the song, got to give it up. They, in turn, did like this proactive lawsuit where they went after them first in the Gaye estate and then countersued, and now we're in the evidence collection phase, and this is what Thicke says. Now, Thicke's attorneys say this is just a distraction, and this doesn't really take away from the fact that the Gaye estate's case is super weak, but still, it became a major media news, and a lot of people seem very fascinated to know that Robin Thicke was drunk and or high most of last year. In the next story this week, rights holders are putting pressure on Netflix to block access to VPNs. Apparently right now, 25% of people who have paid streaming service in Australia get Netflix, which is interesting because Netflix isn't there. They use international credit cards and a VPN to appear to be United States citizens in order to gain access. Now, Netflix is planning on launching an Australian version of it sometime soon, but it's rumored to be more expensive and will probably have less content. So, obviously, that's not going to go over too well. But in the meantime, rights holders are saying, hey, can you please block access to Australians who are trying to use VPNs, A, so that legitimate competitors in Australia can actually, compete, and B, because, we didn't really give you the right to show our content in Australia, and you're kind of showing it in Australia. Oracle America is also in news this week. This is a very, very fascinating case. They are suing the state of Oregon for copyright infringement. Now, many of you who watch the John Oliver show probably heard about the cluster that turned out to be Oregon's healthcare exchange. Remember, they spent $250 million to try to create a healthcare exchange. They pretty much failed. Oracle is one of the partners of that exchange. And in doing so, they wrote some code and did some software and some design for the state of Oregon. Now, the two sides are locked over $20 million worth of fees that Oracle says is unpaid. Now, the two sides are both trying to get a court they think will favor them in terms of jurisdiction. Oracle, being an out-of-state plaintiff, wants to go to a federal court. The state of Oregon would particularly like a state court. Well, Oracle registered the copyright and all the work they had done for the state of Oregon, has now filed a copyright infringement suit alleging that the state of Oregon has continued to use software they wrote without paying for it. The reason being, copyright is a federal-only statute, and therefore, they're hoping that will nudge the entire case to federal court, which is more favorable for them. Undoubtedly, we're going to be hearing more about this in the near future. Also this week, a second actor has sued Google over the Innocents and Muslims trailer. You might recall the Innocents and Muslims trailer caused, or at least was implicated in riots in 2012. The actors that were involved in it say that they were duped. They were told that they were working in an action movie, and furthermore, they never signed any releases. So, therefore, their understanding is that since they are actors and they produce what they believe to be a copyrightable work, they have the right to demand the removal of the video, which Cindy Lee Garcia did first. Google refused, saying that an actor has no copyright interest in the work, even without signing a release, and they refused to remove it. Cindy Lee Garcia sued and eventually won a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling ordering Google to remove all copies of it, at least all copies involving her. Now, however, a second actor has filed a similar suit. Gaylord Flynn is this person's name. He too claims he was tricked. He too claims he didn't sign a waiver. And he's making very much the same case. It's so similar, in fact, because it's the same attorney filing both suits. Once again, just another chapter to the ongoing saga over that particular trailer. Speaking of ongoing sagas, Led Zeppelin is also in the news this week. They have filed a counterclaim. They are seeking dismissal of the lawsuit against them. The estate for the lead singer of the band Spirit has filed a suit against Led Zeppelin, claiming that the iconic intro to Stairway to Heaven was actually a ripoff of Spirit's song Taurus, and made allegations about how Led Zeppelin toured with Taurus and got the idea and incorporated, and etc., etc., etc. Anyway, the surviving members of Led Zeppelin are now demanding that, or rather, I should say, asking that the suit either be dropped, ideally, or if it can't be dropped, that it be moved to their more close to home, Los Angeles. Basically, right now, it is filed in eastern Pennsylvania. They are making the valid point that they don't have any connections there, don't own any property, don't do anything in Pennsylvania. Therefore, if it can't be dropped, if it can't be dismissed, they'd like it at least moved to a court a little bit closer to home. Also this week, YouTube star Michelle Phan has countersued Ultra Records. Ultra Records, of course, the label that represents Deadmau5, Cascade, and other mostly electronic musicians. They filed suit against Phan, alleging that she, as part of her makeup tutorial videos, used music from Ultra Records without their permission. Phan hit back saying, hey, wait a minute, I had permission. And in fact, she claims she got permission way back in 2009 to use not just those artists, but all artists on Ultra Records from a manager at the label. Now, obviously, someone made a mistake here. Either Phan did not get the rights that she thought she had, or, something else went askew. Oddly enough, though, right now, we don't really know who made the mistake, but Michelle Phan has hit back with a countersuit. She is wanting damages, basically saying that they acted with malice, and that they also removed 12 of her videos without copyright justification. And finally this week, Zuffa, aka the company behind UFC, has settled a headline-grabbing lawsuit against a New York area pirate who was supposedly trying to make himself like the best and the best-known pirate of boxing and mixed martial arts media in the world. He was sued for $32 million after allegedly uploading some 141 UFC events to sites like the Pirate Bay and other cyberlocker sites. He would also ask for donations, etc. The gentleman's name, I'm trying to look it up here really fast, is Messina. Basically said, hey, I don't have $32 million. The two sides have reached a settlement. He is cooperating. With UFC on this, and basically is turning over all evidence and all information that he has to them, and is cooperating with the police and Zuffa on this. And Stephen Messina was his name, by the way. Just found it there. And as you can see, I have about 5 seconds to go. So, on that note, that's all the news that's fit to be in these 7 minutes this week. Tune in next week for another 7-minute rundown of this week's copyright news. Until then, this is Jonathan Bailey, signing off.